Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to achieve this perfect, at least in my mind, this is the look that I'm going to be wearing for Valentine's Day, but this is like my perfect go-to Valentine's Day look. I feel like it's super simple, very easy to achieve, and like sexy and sultry, especially paired with this bold lip. I mean, who am I? I don't do this. This is not me. I'm more of a nude girl. But hey, it's Valentine's Day. You gotta celebrate. So if you're curious to see what products I used and how I created this look, then please be sure to go ahead and just keep on watching. And since the eyes are super neutral, I thought that this look would be perfect for Valentine's Day just because you can kind of create your own vibe with it, you know? Keep the eyes super neutral, pop on like a bold pink, a bold red, a bold orange, even a nude lip, which, don't get me wrong, I love a nude lip, but Valentine's Day is probably one of the only days that I actually do end up choosing a bold lip, so let's just go ahead and get started. First, I'm just going to go ahead and prime my eyes with the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin Concealer. I absolutely love this one just because it is in a, more of my skin tone shade. It's in the shade 2.3, so I'm just going to use this to go ahead and prime the eyes for shadow. Just that way we have a blank canvas, and this kind of helps cover up any veins or anything like that that I might have. And I'm just taking that with my Rare Beauty foundation brush and buffing that right on the eyelid, making sure everything is covered and we have a blank slate to work from. Just to prevent any creasing or anything like that, I'm just taking my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder on my sponge. So I'm just going ahead and setting the lids, making sure that they're not tacky at all, and perfectly set. And the next thing that you're going to need for this look is just like any old Scotch tape, invisible tape, and I know that even some brands have their own tape. Like e.l.f. I know has a shadow tape, but I just like to use whatever I have. So I'm just taking 2 pieces of that, just about an inch or so big, and I'm just going to be first applying that on the back of my hand. That way it's not super sticky when going on my eye. And then I'm just going to go ahead and line it up from my bottom lash line right to the corner of my brow. Now that I have it applied just like that, it is a little bit uncomfortable, but that's okay because it won't be on the eyes for long. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same to the other eye. Again, just applying it on the back of my hand first to get most of the stickiness off, and then applying it to my other eye. So for today's look, I'm going to be taking the Artist Couture Supreme Nudes palette. I just love the tones in this. I feel like they're not too warm, not too cool, and I think it's perfect for an array of skin tones. So first, I'm going to be doing the deepest shade, and I'm going to be taking the shade Mink, which is this one right here in the corner, and I'm just going to be loading that up on a stamper brush is what I call these, and I'm just taking that, kind of loading it up on the brush, and then just tapping it and swooping it across the lid to kind of give you a winged out effect. And this is why I really like using tape, just because you can be as messy with it as you want, and you're still going to get that perfect sharp edge. So now once I have it looking a little bit something like that, I'm actually just going to be taking a fluffy brush, kind of like this one, and literally just going right above it, back and forth, and kind of sweeping it upwards just to get it to diffuse and blend. So the reason why I stamped it out at first was to get the deepest amount of pigment as close to the lashes as possible. But then I'm just going to go ahead and fluff it out and smoke it out with another shade just to help it kind of diffuse. Just something like that, and you can already tell the difference between this eye and this eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same to this eye as well. And I'm just fluffing it, not really being super careful with the shadow. You totally could leave the look like this, just leave it like a very simple blown out liner. However, I am going to take that same exact brush, and this time I'm going to dip into the shade Transcend, which is this one right here. It's this beautiful, lightly tan nude neutral shade. And I'm just going to be patting that slightly above where we did the liner. Just that way this shade can also be diffused, and it'll kind of fade from dark brown to like a lighter tan brown shade. And again, just going in with that same brush and fluffing it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of keep repeating this same step over and over until I get like the desired payoff that I want. And I mean, I do think it's like really pretty just like this, because once we do take off the tape, it's going to be sharp, sleek, but I'm just going to continue to build it up. I'm just going to kind of keep building up this shade. So I'm going to be taking the shade Mink, which was this one right here that we went in with originally, and kind of do the exact same thing, stamping it, dragging it, keeping it close to the lash line, and just building up that shade a little bit further. And I'm just going to continue to dip into Transcend and Mink and build them up until I get kind of like the opacity and the shade that I want. Everything will be deep and dark and we'll have the perfect blend. And in the outer corner, I'm kind of just doing circular motions to kind of get it to diffuse upwards. Of course, you don't have to do that. You can just go back and forth. It's all about personal preference with this look, but I always love it. I think it's so cute. And I am going to keep the eyes completely matte for this look, just because I love the outcome. I feel like a good matte eye is always so pretty and it makes such a statement. And like I said, I'm literally using 2 brushes and 2 shades. That's it. And it's gonna look like you put in all this time and effort when in reality you didn't. So I feel like it's almost there. So I'm just gonna go back in one more time using the shade Mink and stamping and swiping that right along, and then going in with Transcend right on top. Like I said, we're almost there. I just want a little bit more shadow, a little bit more depth, and then I'm just gonna blend everything out again. Now, since I have it to like the desired shade that I want, I'm just taking that on a clean brush and further fluffing over everything, just making sure everything is diffused and blended together. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and attempt to take off this tape. Oh my goodness. So now that I went ahead and removed the tape, I'm just gonna clean up under here with a makeup wipe and we'll jump into the complexion. So I actually went ahead and popped on a lash just to finish off the eyes, since this is it for the eyes. So I just went in with the House of Lashes lash in the style Marigold, if you're curious. I love them. I feel like I cut them pretty short so that they could be more of like a cat eye effect and be definitely fuller more towards the outside rather than the inside. But next for primer, I'm going to be going in with the Laneige Glowy Makeup Serum. I got this in my latest haul from Sephora, and honestly, I have been absolutely loving it. It's very hydrating on the skin, and on top of that, I feel like my makeup lasts longer and goes on smoother with it. So truly no complaints from my end, but I'm just going ahead and rubbing that all into the skin, making sure to steer clear of the eyes because we do have that sharp angle and I do want to keep that. And next for foundation, this is another product that I've absolutely been loving, but this is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick Foundation, and I am in the shade Shortbread 200B, but I absolutely love it. I feel like it gives such a nice like natural finish to the skin, and it's not super heavy. It's very lightweight. It's like a medium buildable coverage, I'd say, but the finish it gives your skin is just beautiful and I love it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start to pounce that into the skin, blending that with my e.l.f. beauty sponge. I absolutely love this one. I feel like it gets the job done. It's super, super affordable, which is another great thing, and you can find it anywhere. And I like to do a light layer of that foundation first, just because I didn't want to, I mean, not that you can really go overboard with it, but I just want to have like a more natural finish to the skin rather than have it be like super full coverage right off the bat. And you definitely can leave the complexion looking like this, but I'm going to go ahead and just build it up slightly in the areas that I do need a little bit more coverage. So kind of just like along my jawline, and I'm going to blend that upwards towards my cheeks. Since I am going to be going in with like a fuller coverage concealer, I just wanted the skin to be very light and kind of show my natural skin still kind of peeking through which you can definitely see with like the freckles and everything that I have. But like I said, I am going to go in with a full coverage concealer, so majority of that will be covered up. But I am going to be taking the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Concealer, I believe it is, or like Vanish Airbrush Concealer. It is super full coverage. A little bit goes a long way, so I'm not going to do much. I'm just going to do a few little stripes, of course, on the nose and forehead, and kind of just hit the high points. But again, I'm just going in and pouncing that over with my e.l.f. Beauty Sponge. I mean, you can tell right off the bat that this concealer just automatically covers so much, which is great, especially because of like how lightweight it is. It just is simply seamless on the skin, and I cannot get enough. Just something like that. I mean, you can already tell the difference. It is so nice. If you're looking for a new concealer, I definitely recommend this one, just because it's so easy to blend. You know, it takes no time at all. It covers everything, super lightweight on the skin. It doesn't even feel like you're wearing anything on your skin, which I think is awesome. Next, I'm going to be going in and just setting my face to prevent any creasing or anything like that. And of course, I'm going to be taking my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Powder just for under the eyes, loading up my sponge and just pouncing that right underneath, being sure to look up. That way there is no creasing, and just really coating the under eye to make sure it is bright and crease free. For the rest of the face, taking the powder brush, again with that same powder, and just setting the rest of the complexion. Go ahead and bronze up my skin. I'm going to be taking the Marc Jacobs Tantastic Bronzer. I used to like only ever use this bronzer, and I haven't used it in a while, so I figured I'd dip back into my collection and we'd bring it out. I absolutely love the undertone of this bronzer. I feel like it's perfect for like contouring and bronzing, because it's not too cool, it's not too warm, and I believe right now it's on sale at Sephora, so if you're in need of a new bronzer, I recommend this one. Not that like bronzer is ever natural by any means, but I feel like this bronzer just gives you like such a natural like flush to the skin. Like, it just makes you look like you were on a vacation, soaking up the sun in Mexico, or I mean, not that anybody's traveling now with COVID, but once COVID's gone, you best believe I will get this natural look. So now that I went ahead and finished bronzing up the complexion, I'm going to go ahead and take MAC Warm Soul. This is an oldie but a goodie. I absolutely love it. I feel like it just adds like the perfect amount of like sheen and like peachy bronze to your cheeks. It's so beautiful. And of course, I mean, with this look, it's neutral enough to where you can literally put on any blush you'd like, from like pinks to mauves to like a dusty rose, or even like a red would be super pretty. But for this, I'm a neutrals girl through and through, so I'm just going to be applying this kind of everywhere on the cheeks. And because there is like a light sheen in this blush, I feel like it just gives your cheeks like the most beautiful, like subtle radiance, and I love it. I think it's so pretty. And before we go ahead and move on to highlight, for this look, of course, you could keep it like very subtle, very natural, just like lightly radiant. But for me personally, I love looking like a freaking glazed donut, so that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to be just taking the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, setting my face, and then going in with highlight. And for me personally, I love setting my face with like a setting spray. It could be any type of setting spray, but I just personally like the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist one just because it's such a fine mist. And I feel like it really helps to allow the powder products to like settle into the skin rather than just like sit on top. And I also feel like it makes the highlight pop even more, if that's even possible, especially with the palette that I'm going in with. You have to be careful with this one. Taking the Hoola Mini Cheek Leader palette, and I'm going in with the shade Cookie. This highlight is like not to be messed with. It is so bright and blinding, but in like the best way. I feel like even though I have texture on my cheeks, it doesn't really pick it up too badly, because I feel like it makes you look so glowy, so radiant, so dewy, and like fresh, and Honestly, I can't get enough. I'm just taking that blush brush and further blending over everything. I like to do this that way it's more like diffused, as you can tell, rather than just like a stripe across my face. So since the complexion is almost done, I'm just gonna go ahead and bake underneath my bronzer. Again, just putting my Charlotte Tilbury powder right on the sponge and kind of like pouncing it. You can already tell like the difference between the two. And I just like to do this. I don't really like to let it sit for too long on the skin, but I just like to have a little bit of something. That way it gives you a little bit more definition. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and place whatever is left on my sponge right underneath my eyes to kind of help bring some of that brightness back. And then going in with the blush brush to blend everything together. And so since the complexion is complete, I'm just going to go ahead and do my brows really quickly. I'm using the Milk Kush Fiber Brow Gel. I absolutely love this one. I feel like it's all I use now. So if you have any recommendations on like what brow products I should try, please let me know, because I feel like I always get stuck in a rut with brows. I just use whatever I like the most, and this for me is like the perfect undertone. It's super easy, like effortless brows. I mean, that took maybe like 10 seconds. So if you have any like quick and easy products like this, let me know, because I'd love to try out some new brow products. So now that the face is complete, I'm going to go ahead and just finish up the eyes. So I'm just going to be taking that small stamper brush that we were using before, and I'm going to be dipping into Mink, which is this one here, and then Transcend, which is this one here, and kind of just lightly stamping that on the outer corner, stamping that super close to the lash line, kind of connecting it to the shadow above. Just going to be taking this brush here and dipping that right into Transcend, and then smoking that out and blending the two shades together just to give it like a diffused look. So now that I have it looking something like this, I am finally complete with the eyes, and I'm just going to take the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Volume Express Mascara to finish up the lower lash line. Alright, and finally, to tie the whole look together, I'm just going to be taking that highlight that we used, which was Cookie from the Cheek Leader palette, just kind of tapping that right on like a small definer brush and popping that right on the inner corner just to add a little bit of glow. Nothing too much. Still want to keep it pretty matte on the eyes, but an inner corner highlight I feel like just really ties the whole look together. And then just doing the same and popping that right underneath the brow to give just a little bit of a brow bone highlight. Nothing too much, nothing too blinding, anything like that, but just to give it like that subtle pop that I feel like that it was missing. Alright, so for this look, since it is super neutral, super basic, I'm going to give you 2 lip options, and of course you can do any lip that you'd like, but for me personally, I'm going to show the nude first because this is probably how I'd wear this look. And I love the eyes. I feel like they're so like cat-esque with like the wing out effect. I love it. So I'm just going to be taking Pat McGrath's Contour Lip Liner and lining my lips. So now that I went ahead and lined up my lips and kind of filled them in just a little bit, I'm going to be taking MAC's Retro Liquid Lip Color and Lady Be Good just as like a nude option, since this is like my favorite way to wear this look. Okay, so this is the finished look with the nude lip. I feel like it's so pretty, so simple, but I feel like it makes such a statement. And of course you can leave this matte, you can add a gloss, but for me personally, I'm kind of like digging the whole like matte vibe, like matte lips, matte eye, and like glowy, dewy skin. I'm here for it. Off camera, I'm going to go ahead and take off this lip, and I'll be back to show you option 2. So I went ahead and wiped off that nude shade, and now we're going to be going in with definitely a bold color. This is Morphe Hot Shot. I feel like it's like this beautiful, like hot chili pepper red with like the littlest, lightest bit of orange, but this is definitely a 180 from that nude lip. This though is absolutely beautiful, and I feel like it's gonna pair really nicely with this eye, so let's go ahead and apply. And this is the look with the red. I absolutely love it. I was honestly leaning more towards the nude lip, but after seeing this paired together, I feel like it's a match made in heaven. I feel like with the neutral eyes, the bold lip, it is perfect. And I mean, of course you can wear this any day. It doesn't have to be just Valentine's Day, but I'm telling you, I think that this is gonna be my look for this Valentine's Day. Alright you guys, and that completes today's video. If you did like this video, please be sure to drop a like down below, as well as a comment as to what you'd like to see from me next. Thank you guys so much for watching, and before you leave, please be sure to hit that notification bell as well as that subscribe button. That way you're notified every single time I upload. I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye guys!